This video is about accessing different command modes in COMMANDO C3500 series modular routing switch. So let's start. Connect the console port to any PC or the laptop with the console cable. Go to the putty program and serial and give the speed 115200. Open. Enter. So the mode which we get here is the user execution mode, and question mark is a universal help command. So you can have cd system command cd dir directories. You can disable it to go to this user execution mode, or enable it to go to the other modes, and exit to start the session again. So next command is Ethernet command. So it will give the Ethernet configuration command function. You can exit from this mode. You can give the question mark or help command for description of interactive health systems. You can log out or exit from the execution mode. So I can log out. So this will again ask for login. Enable it. Then I can have the system command ls md5 sums. No command to negate any command. This is a very good command which is used by any network engineer in user execution mode. Ping command. Then we can have the pwd command. Then quit, exit from the execution mode, user execution mode. SSH to open a secure client connection. Telnet to particular IP addresses. So telnet to, let us say telnet, and it will form a session. You can have a terminal. You can set the terminal line parameter. You can trace route to find the route to the destination networks. After enabling it, you will go to the mode called as global configuration mode. So in this mode you can see very familiar commands like you see in top brand switches. So you can boot or specify the boot parameter, bypass config. You can system command cd. You can clear or reset the clear any process. So clear any process, let us say clear counters. So it will clear all the counters of show interface. So show interface counters will be cleared by this clear process. You can have configure command to go to the global configuration mode. So if you give configure terminal, you can go to the global configuration mode. Then you can have copy command to copy any of the systems, like from flash, from UDIS, from TFTP, from FTP, from SCP, management interfaces, running config to startup config. So I want running config to be copied to startup config. It will give same effect as a write command. You can have the CPU traffic protect, debug, delete, DSCP parameter setting, then dir disable to go to the previous mode, and enable to go to. You can have DOT1X port based access control system. You can enable passwords or secret. So enable. So 4 is the highest level. Enable 4. Ethernet commands, you can also have the exit command to go to previous mode. FTP, G8031 parameters, G8032 parameter you can generate. You can help description of interactive help system. You can have the L2 layer ping. You can have the login to specific login parameter, logout, ls command for system command ls, MD5 sums, then mkdir system command, mkdir monitor commands, more command, no to negate any command, then pcap file format, then ping, send the echo commands. This is the most popular commands. Ping, pwd command, quit command to exit from the execution modes, then reboot command to reboot this system or restart the system, or reload to perform a warm restart, rename system command, rename, then reset to factory default. So you can have the reset and you can say factory default and enter, and that will be done. And after rebooting it will reset to factory default. RMDIR, you can set the device attribute. You can see the show command, which most popularly used, like show interface, show MAC address, show memory, show multilink, show MVR, show MAC address minus table. So these are most commonly used show commands. Show IP routes. Then SSH for secure shell connection. We can start the VCT functions. You can have a tar, extract file in tar image, TDP low. You can telnet to particular remote devices. You can terminal set the line parameters. So terminal length, if I can set from 0 to 512, so that the screen output will not be restricted. So it will give full output if I say terminal length 0. Then we can have trace route to find the reachability to the destination network, along with the intermediate things which we will go through, or the IP address which will go to reach to that network. Hop counts also will be shown with the trace route command. UDLD, UT and write command to save the running config to startup config, so that when you power on the device it will not be lost. Then configure terminal to go to the global configuration mode. So in that mode there are so many commands which are very familiar. So AAA to enable the AAA new model functions. Then you can have the ACL, IP, port base, MAC base, time range ACL statistics. You can set the ARP ACL configuration. You can have the banners. So you can have the banner, let us say I want message of the day. You can have 3 types of banners: message of the day, execution banner and login banner. Let us have the message of the day, MOTD banner. You can start with any of the symbol and say this is commando switch. So this banner will be shown as a message of the day when you are taking. So this is a commando switch banner is displayed first, and then you can start configuring the device. You can also have the BFDs, bidirectional forwarding detection configuration, bypass interface configuration, cipher you can use, class maps. Then clock, you can set the clock set, and you can set date, time, summer time, time zones with these clock settings. You can have the control plane, CPU limit, CPU traffic limit, CPU traffic protect, statistics. uh, cut through forwarding. So this is a very important feature. Generally switches are having store and forward method of sending the Ethernet frames. So we can also have this cut through forwarding for sending the frames. Debugging interfaces we can have, then DSCP server, DSCP version 6 server, diagnostics, we can have the diagnostic information also. So we can see any diagnostic information for so we can discard or enable the diagnostic information. Then DNS we can set client as well as relay. Do, then do command is to run the execution command in the configuration, global configuration mode command. So from privilege execution mode, any command can be run with the help of do command. In all other mode after this global configuration mode. DOT1X for port based access control, ECMP, EFD for elephant flow detect. Then you can enable passwords. So this is an important command, enable passwords or secret. Let us say I want to enable secret, commando in small case, and this is case sensitive. You can also have end to end the current mode and change to the privilege execution mode directly from any mode. If you say end, it will go to privilege execution mode. So if I say end from any mode, go to that mode. Then ERPS for Ethernet ring automatic recovery, error disable. Then Ethernet configure layer 2 exit. Then you can have the fan speed configurations, format the file system, FSK files, FTP, G8031 parameter configuration, G8032 parameter configuration. Then global ACLs, gratuitous ARP learning, hardware, hash field, hash value, heartbeat monitor, help, host name. So this is a host name. By default switch is a host name, so you can change the host name. Let us say I want commando in capital as a host name, so I can change the host name. We can also have the HTTP services. Then interface, I can go to interface configuration mode. So interface, let us say VLAN 1, and I can go to this interface. Then IP, I can have IP flicks, IPG, IPv6. I can set the key, L2 protocol, LACP. We can have the lags, dynamic lag with the help of this LACP commands. Then line, I can have the line console as well as line VTY parameter to be set by this. So these are the commands in that mode, which are most familiar commands. This video is just a basic introduction how the Commando C3500 series switch command line looks like. Then LLDP, then load, then login command, login password, login security, loopback detect, MAC address table command, management, max static routes, max static v6 route, MBFDs, so bidirectional forwarding detection for multiple point network, MFP, then MLAG, which is very important command for data centers. Then you can monitor the system traffic, you can monitor the link. This is also one of the important command that you can do the MPLS with this switch. This switch is basically non-licensed require not have any license requirement or any subscription requirement to get and activate any function. So you don't have to have anything like you have to just take the switch and use it for any functions which are listed here. You can have the multi-links, MVR, MVR6, no command to negate anything. Then you can have the NTP server, you can have the OSPF, then overlay technologies to configure overlay parameters, then OBSDBs, then panel port 51 to 54, then you can set the PoE, policy map, port bridge, port channel, port group, role isolate, flow control, PTP. Then you can have the QoS for various things, so you can say QoS, and you can have the aggregate polisher or ECN. Then you can quit to exit current mode and down to the previous mode. Then you can set the radius server for IPv4 as well as IPv6. You can have the raw VLAN group, re-username, re-establish the username authentication. You can reset. You can have the remote monitoring protocol RMON. You can have route map, router. So this switch is having very important protocol in routing called as BGP. Apart from all IPv6 based routing protocols and ISIS, OSPF version 2, version 3, RIP version 1, 2, 3, NG, VRRP. Then you can set the router ID, RSA, SBFDs, then SBFD initiator, SBFD reflector, schedule. You can schedule some parameters, so you can schedule the reboots, for any of the time. You can have the selective queue in queue. You can service set up miscellaneous services. You can have the SFlow. So SFlow, agent, collector, counter, and enable. So SFlow enable and enter. This way you have very simple and straightforward commands like standard command used. So no need to train your engineers or the guys who install and manage the commando switch. It's like standard CLI. Show running system information, then smart buffer, smart config, smart links, SNMP server, spanning tree. So you can have all the flavors of spanning tree, like spanning tree mode. So you can set any of the mode like MSTP, RSTP or STP as per your choice. You can have the speed mode, split, STM profile, then switch media type. You can have like switch, interface, and interface name. Sysmon, you can have table map, TechCache server. You can have for IPv4, IPv6. You can set the threshold temperatures. So temperature can be set for this device. Low you can set anywhere from, let us say I want -20 as a low, and I want then high temperature to be 50-degree temperature. So it will automatically, and the critical temperature as 55. So this way I can set the temperature. By default it can handle and withstand the wide range of temperature as per user choice. Then we can have the time range, track, UDLD, UMount, update, user define, username, and passwords. So this will be asked. If I say username commando and password or secret or privilege level we can have. So secret commando @ 123. So any of the VTY line or any of the line will ask for these passwords, which is login to the device. Apart from the console will ask for the enable password, which we have set as commando. Then we can have the VLAN parameters. So let us say VLAN, and we can create the VLAN from 2 to 4094. By default VLAN 1 is created. So let us say if I say VLAN 2 to 30, so this much VLAN 2 comma VLAN 30. So VLAN 2 if I say, so that VLAN, we can go to that VLAN. Then VLAN group can be created. Then voice VLAN can be created. VRRP for load balancing purpose, and WARP span can be configured in global configuration mode. We can also go to the interface configuration mode, which is very important. Interface, and the interface name in commando switches starts with ETH word -0 dash. Let us say I want to go to port number 9. You can see the do show interface, so you can see the status of that port. So we have connected that port, so status is coming up with the MAC addresses, bandwidth 1G, speed, duplex. You can see the media type, what is inserted in that, and these counters, we can clear the counters or as per our choice. So you can see there are a lot of commands in the interface. I will start with this. You can have the access group for particular access control list. You can have the ARP configuration, auto negotiate mode. You can set the bandwidth parameter, so you can set the bandwidth. You can have the BFDs, then carrier layer, then channel group. For LACP channel, you can bundle these links. You can have the description for this link, so that will be appear in show interface, that particular interface, that description will appear. You can have the DSCP server, DSCP version 6 server, distribute weight. You can have the do command, DOT1Q, DOT1X. You can have the duplex command. You can have the half duplex, full duplex. Then EFD, elephant flow detect, end command, error disable conditions you can set. You can have the Ethernet, you can exit, fast link, FEC, FFE, flow statistics, flow control, group speed, hardware, help command, IP. So you can give make it directly as a layer 3 interface from just by giving the command no switch port, and directly give any of the IP address 192.168, let us say .0.1/24 IP address I want to give to this interface. Then IP fix to make it as a layer 3 interface. IPv6, ISIS, we can set the jumbo frames. So this is very useful tool for enabling jumbo frames. So it will send 9200 bytes of frame. Then keep alive L2. Then L2 protocols, we can have the LACPs configured, dynamic lag, we can say that. Then LLDP, then load balancing algorithm can be configured, load interval, local proxy RP, loopback detect, MAC, MDI, media type, we can make it as a copper or fiber. So we can set auto select, or RJ45 means copper based and SFP means fiber module, any. We can have the MLAGs, we can configure MPLS parameters, MTU, maximum transmission unit for the interface. You can have the multi-links, MVR version 6, no command to negate. Then NTP, network time protocol, optical modes we can set. We can have the overlays, OBS DBs we can have for open vSwitch database configuration. Then PoE, PoE, we can have PoE. We can set enable or disable, we can set the max power, we can set the PoE mode or priority of the PoE. We can block the port, we can isolate, we can cross connect, we can have the priority flow control, proxy ARP, PTP, QoS, quit, RMON for remote monitoring, service policy, SFlow, show commands, shutdown command, smart link, SNMP, spanning tree, speed, static channel group, storm control, switch port modes, various switch port modes it is having. Switch port mode, we can have the access, DOT1Q tunnel, private VLAN and trunk mode. Then port isolate, port X connect, priority flow control, proxy ARP, PTP, QoS we can set, quit, service policy, SFlow, show, shutdown, smart links, SNMP, spanning tree, speed, static channel group, then storm control, switch port, trust, tunnel, UDLD, unidirectional link detection, we can have unicast, unidirectional, VLAN. So we can have the switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN. For particular VLAN they will have the access. Then we can set the voice and wavelength for this switch. After understanding the interface configuration mode, one important specific configuration mode like router, let us say I want to set the BGP, which is a very important protocol with autonomous system number 65001. So I can set this parameter, and this is will be working with any of the top brand switches without any issues. Any protocol which are listed here are workable with the current environment or current setup, as it use open standard to negotiate and can transfer the protocol information from this place. So there is nothing like compatibility with issue with this L3 plus core and data center manage routing switches. There is absolutely no problem. So you can configure these parameters. We can also go to one of the very important mode called as roam monitor mode. Here it is called as bot one. So we will reboot. We can recover the passwords if we lost that password with this. So I will show you how to go to the roam monitor mode and can do the things. So as such, this switch is having the command set which is very similar. This is very basic of what we can show you as such to show the accessing and existing command modes in Commando C3500 series switch. Basically you have to use the command Control B to break this, Control B to break this and go to the boot roam mode, and here question mark the universal help, and if you say this boot flash no pass command, so no password will be asked. And for I have said username, passwords, enable password, nothing will be asked, and you will get rid of the passwords which you have set, which you forgot by the way. So this way you can, I have rebooted, started reboot for this switch. So it will take hardly 1 minute to go to the normal user execution mode. So we will come to that because this is a live device. So basically in this video we have seen the user execution mode, privilege execution mode, has the hash prompt, then global configuration mode with config, switch config, hash prompt and interface configuration mode. Apart from that, the RMON mode, and we have seen the command how to get rid of the password which we set. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.